phone's falling. Hey everybody, I'm doing a quick live today. I'm going to do some hair bows. Let me try to fix my phone though. It's a little bit top heavy, so that's the problem. Hopefully it'll stay. Don't fall. No, I think it's going to keep sliding down. Is it doing it again? I'm sorry. Alright. Let me pull this up so I can see everybody's chats. My head's cut off, it looks like. Well, good grief, guys. I gotta figure this out. I apologize for anybody watching. Let's see if we can get it. Let's try that. I have to have it connected more on this side because I have one of those little things on the back of my phone, so I can't put it in the middle. It's just like a little clamp around my phone. Hi Robin, how are you? Good to see you. I actually am working on some hair bows. I got somebody that asked me to make them some hair bows, so I've started on some, but I still have a few more to make. Hey TJ, hey Connie, how y'all doing? Sorry my head's cut off. So I made some different styles. That's my boutique one. This one I did differently. I made it just like I would a wreath bow using my mat. So I'm gonna definitely show that again and see if I can get it to turn out just like that one. And then this is a bigger version of that. And I haven't finished that one. I thought I had, I guess not. So I still need to make a yellow one and a lavender one, and I think that's it. Hey Miss Kay, how are you? It looks like my phone's still kind of leaning. I have it plugged in, so I think that's kind of making it lean to the cord. So I apologize for that. It's not bad though. Alright, so these are 1.5 inch width ribbons, and this is a 2.5 inch, which I don't have a lot of colors in this size. I have white, pink, red, black, orange. I think that's it. I think I've got a rainbow somewhere too. But most of the colors I have in this size right here. So I'm going to do a yellow and a lavender in these, with these two. My yellows. And I've got a cheat sheet somewhere. So for this size bow, I need at least 30 inches. I usually cut about 35 inches just to be safe. I know it's been a really long time since I made a hair bow, any kind of hair bows, except for, well, mum hair bows, but. Oh, and guess what? TJ already knows, but I ordered a microphone last night, so hopefully that will work out good. It's supposed to be able to connect to this and to my phone, so if I do a live from either one of those, I should be set. What did I say? 35 inches. Okay. All right. There's about 35 inches. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut the ends. Cut a V shape. was a little rusty with the first bow. I did practice a little bit because it had been over a year, I would say, since I made a regular hair bow. The first thing I do, I line up the ends, I find the center, and I just put an alligator clip in the center. I'm going to take my ribbon right where that center is, and whatever distance you put here is how long your tails are going to be. So that's about 3 inches. I usually just eyeball it. I want to make them pretty even. Now the trick here, since this is grosgrain ribbon, it's got the lines in it, so you want to match up the edge here of your ribbon to those lines, so you know you're doing it straight. I'm actually going to grab one that has the little teeth on it because it's going to hold a lot better. So now you have like an infinity or a figure 8 sign. That's okay, that's awesome. It was storming here all day and now the sun is out. Okay, so I'm just overlapping these, and one, you will know, one goes up a little bit higher than the other, so it's going to overlap on top. And then you leave just about that much. So about that much. And then I go like this to make sure I've got it in the center. Push it forward. Like this. That's the back side. This is the front. So I'm going to take that clip off. Now I've got the top up, and I just pinch it. You can pinch it in the center and go like this. But if you want it to be really twisty looking like these loops, then you want to put it flat. And you want to twist like that, and then this one too, like that. I think I twisted a little too much. Now I'm going to pinch it in the center and then fold it back so it's pinched like that. And this is where I used to wrap thread around it. I actually used to take the thread, the needle, and go through the center, but sometimes it would be off-centered and then I'd have to cut it, and then there would be all these little holes. So then I just started wrapping it with thread, but you can also wrap it with zip ties. The only thing about zip ties is it's going to have that little notch on the end. I have a beige one. I'm going to do that one because that black's going to stand out. It's going to be hard to cover up that black. Now you just want to form your bow. It's not looking very pretty. It doesn't look centered. This loop is way bigger than this one. That sometimes happens. And it's not forming right. So that happens. What I do is I just cut that sucker off and start over. Just be careful not to cut your ribbon. This happens all the time to me. I have to start over all the time. They're not hard to make though. They only take a few minutes to make, so it's not a big deal. Don't want that twist in there. You want it like the loops to look like this. Do not. You can take floral wire or a chenille stem, just as long as you cover it up, it's fine. Perfect. I just like to push them in right there, and that's how you get those cute loops on each corner. This thing gets, when it gets hot, it gets really, really hot. So I'm constantly turning it off and then back on because it gets really, really hot, and then I burn myself very quickly. And then it stays hot for a long time. So I let it get really hot and it'll shut it off. And if it starts cooling down, I'll just turn it back on. And I'm using French clips. These are, I think, 3 inch. Okay, so let that get hot before I do the French clips. And now I'm going to try to make another one like this. That was just an experiment, so I have never done one before. We'll see if another one turns out the same. Thank you, Robin. And I think I cut the same amount of ribbon. Trying to think. I'm going to cut at least a yard because I can't remember for sure. So this one I'm going to do in lavender. Piece for the center of that one. It's about 5 inches. It may be too much. I don't really measure that. I don't have the real little in the lavender. I think this is like 3/8 or 5/8. I think it's 3/8. So, I'm trying to remember. like I said, it was an experiment, so I wasn't really paying that much attention to what I was doing. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Kay. Okay, so this is how I do a wreath bow. And I measured 4 inches to start for the little tail. And then I think I did 7 inches for the loop. That looks right. So I'm just pinching it there. Now I want to twist the ribbon just like I would on my wreath bows. Pinch it. Twist it. And hopefully I'll get 4 loops and 2 tails. I did, and I had a little too much there, but that's okay. Let me grab my zip ties over here. See if I can fix that camera again. Like I said, the only thing you have to worry about is the little notch on there. You definitely don't want that on top, on the front. So I'm going to cut my V shape again, or dovetail. Cut this back. Cut it a little bit more because I think that's going to be the top. You definitely don't want your top tail to be longer than your bottom one. It still is. I just hate wasting ribbon. I'm not cutting it either at an angle enough. It's not looking right. Okay, that's much better. You see, that's a really cute bow too. Oh, thanks, Robin. Yeah, I used to eyeball it too until I got this mat, and then I thought, and it was for the tutorials because I wanted to be able to tell people, you know, it's when you're making a bow and you're just like, oh, I'm eyeballing it, then people want to know how big you're making stuff. So I started measuring it for the tutorials so I could tell people how big I'm making the bows. And I realized I really like doing that because they turned out really even and much better looking. And you could even take like a yardstick if you didn't have a mat. It just like take some masking tape and tape it down, or just set it on your table and use it. So I think that's cute. It's different. See, they don't turn out exactly the same, which I didn't think they would. It's still really cute. And now my glue gun is nice and hot. And I just want to run some hot glue along the back. I don't know if you can see that steam coming off of it because it's so hot. And I just want to hold that down. Make sure it's in the center, and then just hold it down. Let it dry a little bit. Oh, the sign's falling. I spent all this time on my makeup and you guys can't see it. That's the way it is though. No, these are both grosgrain. But satin would work as well. Alright, so I'm just going to put a little glue on the bottom here. And I'm going to start right here. And I want to put a little glue up here too, so it doesn't move. And this should wrap around a couple of times, which I'm going to need it to cover up that floral wire, because when you're using a light colored ribbon like that, you're going to be able to see stuff like that underneath it. You can take off this piece if you want. I have such a hard time getting it back on that I prefer to work around it. But I used to take them off and then I would just fight with them to try to get it back on. So whatever works better for you. Let's see how much better that is. Cut it off where it's still back here. I don't want it to show. You don't want the end to be up here on the top anywhere. And you just want to use a little bit of hot glue there. Push it down. And then I like to take my hot glue gun. I'm not going to push any hot glue out. I'm just taking the tip and running it along that seam, and it will just completely seal that seam and you don't have to worry about it fraying. So those are the same bows. Yes! It doesn't always work great for these little projects, so I should probably get my mini glue gun out for these little projects, but I'm just too lazy to do it. You're welcome, Robin. No, I didn't do anything else with it. Does it look better today for some reason? Maybe it's showing up better. Can you guys see my cricket? You can't see my cricket, can you? I'll show it to you in a minute. Where I put it. It's longer than my scan and cut, because I was going to put it over here where my scan and cut is. And I may still move it, like during homecoming, I don't know. But I moved stuff around on this black shelf and put it up here. And I think I'm going to like it up there. We'll see. And then leave my scan and cut, and I can still use it for some projects. Like I may just use this for stickers, you know, like for the vinyl for now, and then maybe use this to cut some more backers and to cut a lot of the custom cutouts. I don't know, we'll see. I still got to play around with this. Oh, thank you, TJ. I wonder why that is. Or maybe I just have it at a better angle or something. I love the sublimation stuff. It's amazing to me how pretty it turns out, because when it prints off the printer, it's dull. It's very, very dull, and you're like, this isn't gonna look good, and then you heat press it and it's just so bright and vivid. It's crazy. Do the purple one, and there's the little notch. I kind of have it, it's still kind of on the back, but it's more towards the side, And if you look closely after the bow is finished, you probably see like a little, well, on that one you can't see anything. I don't see anything on that one. Like it's right here, and I only know that because I can feel it. So, but wrapping it twice really works best. I don't know. See, that's another thing I need to figure out, because I read a lot of people like to use like the Silhouette software and then they cut with Cricut, but I don't know how you, I don't know yet how to bring an image or whatever onto Design Space. I still have to do a lot of research on Design Space. I was able to cut out a couple of stickers. That's all I've been able to do. So I'm hoping I can still use Canva, because Canva has so many images and so many fonts and stuff. And that's what I use with my Scan and Cut. I say I make something on Canva, save it on my computer, and then pull it up on Scan and Cut. Which Scan and Cut's not very user friendly either. It takes a while to figure it out. Ooh, I'm not liking that. It just glued down weird. And you can see the French clip. Okay. Let me try to fix the bow first. Let me see if I can fix these. Loops are kind of sideways, and that's the problem. Let's try that. And I need to make sure that I'm gluing it on the solid piece of the ribbon. I had glued it kind of in between, and that was part of the problem too. Oh, I hate hot glue. That is much better. I'll probably make up several in the colors that she wanted with different styles, and let her pick which one she wants, because I won't have to worry about being stuck with them, because I have a couple of great nieces, some other great nieces in the family, several if I ever see them, but I can get rid of these bows very quickly. And I haven't made any in a while for them. Okay, so on this one I can wrap it around just like that. And it'll have a little bit wider one. Or you can take your ribbon and go like this. You're just kind of making a knot. But you don't want to pull it tight. You just make it like it's kind of pointy. Like that. You guys can see that. And then what you do is put your hot glue right there and center it. And then you'll glue it like this and this. And that's how you'll get that cute little knot in the center. But all the ones she showed me pictures of were flat like this, so I'm gonna stick with that. hot glue drives me crazy. Those little strings. I could probably wrap this a third time, but I'm not going to. I don't think it needs it. I have a video premiere tonight at 8:15, and I set an alarm, TJ, so I won't forget, hopefully. It's an Easter tutorial. I think that's a cute bow. Do you? I do the reminder, and then I have to set an alarm or something, or like on my calendar, or an actual alarm, or I still won't remember. I used to have some French clips that were even bigger than this. I think they were like 4-inch. And I really like those for the homecoming mom bows, hair bows, but I ran out of them, and I need to like search Amazon or something and see if I can find some more. These are from Hobby Lobby. They're good French clips. It's just like for the hair bow mums, the wider they are, the more like streamers and stuff I can add to them. So it's like I'm really limited with the smaller one. But that's as big as they have at Hobby Lobby. And those really big ones I had gotten somewhere online. I can't remember where. It was years ago. You could also go over the center with like that diamond mesh or diamond wrap ribbon. Really, really pretty. Or a glitter ribbon. I'll probably make these colors in that, and then probably those colors in that too, just to give some different options. I did use my Bodabra to make a couple, and let's see. And that's what I came up with those. To me, these look more old-fashioned. I think they're cute, though. And then I made this one with the Bodabra too, and that's the 2.5 inch. It turned out really big. Look how big that sucker is. It's as big as this little mat almost. I'll definitely have some extras for my nieces. I do not sell bows, hair bows on Etsy. I tried that years ago. There's just too much competition. There's too many people selling them, and there's too many people selling them really, really cheap. I know it's not a lot of money to make a bow, but still, you've got to make a little bit of money off of it, or it's not worth it. So I don't understand why they do that. You have to be careful with the hot glue on hair bows too. If you goop up the hot glue, it really shows. So that's why I try not to glue on top, because if you get too much, it's going to ooze out that center loop and you can see it. Look how cute that bow is. I miss the bow days. No, I would leave the wire in there. I mean, you could take it out. It really depends on what look you're going for. If you were gonna do like this style, I would take it out. If you're gonna do it like measure it out like I did this one, you might be happier with the ribbons or the wires in there, because you can move the loops around better and make them show up where you know, make them face whatever direction you want better. But for this look, it would get, every time somebody touched it, it would get bent in, you know, the wires would get bent in, so you probably wouldn't be happy with that. So I would say depending on what look you're going for. I have used wired ribbons before, especially for like a holiday bow. So just keep that in mind. And then on your tails, the wires always work their way out after it's been cut. And so you might have an issue with, you know, wires sticking out. So be careful of that too. You may have to like just fold it under and glue it or something. I don't know. That's the only bad thing. I had played around with some ribbon. This is from last year, where I was thinking about making some hair bow tutorials for July 4th, and then I just never did. But this is a wired ribbon, and I took the wire out of it. But you see on those tails, those wires would have been sticking out, and that's going to stick to their clothes. It's going to stick in their hair. It might jab them, so just be careful of that. And there's no way to like cut it. You would have to cut the ribbon and pull it out, and then you'd have your ribbon have cuts in it. So this was like a cheer bow style. Hello, Monica. How are you today? I was planning on making the girls some July 4th hair bows last year, and I just never got to finishing it. I need to do that. Alright, so I'm going to move the camera so you guys can see my Cricut, where I put it. You see it on the second shelf there. I hope unplug this. This might help. Okay, sorry guys. It's the only bad thing about the phone. No, it's still going downhill. Okay. Oh, yeah, look at my hair. It's really, I colored it yesterday. It was light brown. I usually get, it's like, well, a Color Touch Plus, and it comes in 2 colors. It's like intense light brown with whatever. I usually get with gold, but they more than doubled the price of that one, so I picked out the one with violet, and it's like neon violet all along my hairline. It's crazy. Oh yeah, they're super simple. Like once you get it down, Monica, it's really easy to make hair bows. You just got to get down, you know, decide which style you like, and just practice, and then you make wreaths, really pretty wreaths, so I know you can do hair bows. So here's my new Cricut. It's the Cricut Maker 3. And then he bought me, it does not come with a mat. That's the downside, because they made all this smart vinyl now, and if you use the smart vinyl with it, you don't need a mat, so they decided that you don't need a mat with it. But after I got it going, you know, when you have to get on Cricut.com and do the setup, and it has you cut out a design, then it's done with you. So I tried to cut out Homecoming on a piece of smart vinyl, and it would not do anything. It kept saying that I wasn't loading anything. And so I had to live chat with them. Oh, you have to calibrate it. Well, in order to calibrate it, you need a mat. And that really irritated me, because I thought, how many people, and she acted like that was something that's really, really common. And I was, you know, I was irritated for other people, because I thought, how many people have spent all that money for that, didn't get a mat, and then can't use it because they need to calibrate it, so now they have to order a mat. So you can use the mats with them for regular vinyl. So I have all this vinyl. So I'm glad I got the mats, and it was a variety pack of mats. Light grip, standard grip, and strong grip. Now to calibrate it, you have to print out something on your regular printer. And I wasn't even thinking, you know, and then she was like, okay, you got to print this out. So I printed it out. Okay, put it on your mat. And I picked out the light grip, but it was brand new. Putting a piece of copy paper on a brand new mat is not a good idea to begin with. So I should have used cardstock, but I wasn't even thinking. I was so frustrated at that point. And then what this thing does is it puts all these lines, and then it'll cut all on those lines, and you pick which ones are the best cuts. So when it was done, this whole sheet of copy paper had cuts all over it. It took me forever to get, I was scraping and scraping and scraping. I was so mad. And there's still pieces of paper all over it. So if you ever have to calibrate yours, do it on cardstock, because it's going to be easier to remove. Oh good, thank you, Robin. I know my daughter came home from school and she's like, why is your hair red? And I was like, well, it's supposed to be violet. It's supposed to be brown with violet. But yeah, when it was wet, you know, when you put the color on and you're letting it set, it was like neon orange. I was like, oh my God. So this is smart vinyl. They give you a few sheets of, they give you a sheet of removable vinyl, a sheet of transfer paper, a sheet of sticky cardstock, smart cardstock, and then a sheet of iron-on, smart iron-on vinyl. And this one, this sheet right here, the small sheet, that was for the beginning when you do the setup. But when you do the smart vinyl, it has to be at least 6 inches. It has to be a full sheet, you know, across, like 12 inches across, but then it has to be 6 inches long or it will not cut it. So you can't use like small pieces. I don't know how much smart vinyl I'll be buying. I'm sure it's really expensive. I haven't even looked. I mean, that's neat that you don't have to use a mat with it. I think that's a good idea, because what's everybody's biggest complaint about these things is it's the stupid mats that you have to re-sticky them all the time and scraping stuff off of them. So it's a really good idea. It's just going to be really expensive, I think, for a while, until other companies start making it, and it's been out for a while. So I had to move stuff around again, of course. But right now I like it there. It is weird to me that it doesn't have, like, you know, this Scan and Cut has a little, you know, a little screen on it that you touch screen. That doesn't have anything. It has a few buttons. So that kind of freaks me out for some reason, until I get used to that. So I had this little 3-drawer plastic containers, you know, that have the 3 drawers. So I moved those over here, and I had to move some stuff over there. But everything works. It's in a good spot. I did find a use for one of these. I still have one empty. I'm not rushing into filling it up just to fill it up. But I was really happy with what I did with this one. All my smaller bells. I thought this went all the way back. I guess it doesn't. So it's got all these little different sized containers, which you can remove them. Whoops. You don't have to use them, or you don't have to use all of them. But I've got them color coded, and then the sizes and the different ones. So these are cowbells, and these little weird bells. Smaller cowbells, jingle bells in different sizes. Look, I have this unique bell. There's some red ones and some black ones and some white ones. I had some different colors for that one. I call these Liberty bells, because that's what it looks like to me. So I even have some really tiny cowbells, and I forget about those because they would get lost in my container. So I've just got all different sizes and shapes. I even have a couple of whistles in here. So I'm really happy with this. Thanks, Robin. I got this at Harbor Freight, which is where my husband got me this, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. I know they have the extra batteries and the chargers there. I love it, TJ. And it was, I want to say it was under $10. I'm trying to remember. It was on sale, but I want to say it was like $7.99 or $8.99. So don't forget to look in like the shop section or garage storage section, because you can get all kinds. That's where I got the black shelving from Harbor Freight for $50. It was on sale. So I do have one more of these. I could either save it if I get a bigger collection of bells, or I can use it for, I thought about using it for bling to, you know, I've got all those different rhinestones and stuff, so I thought about I could really sort those out better. Me too, Monica, me too. And then I like how it is so narrow and fits in a small space real easily. Fits on that shelf perfectly. There were some other things that I thought about putting in it, but it, you know, wasn't wide enough. So that's the only drawback, that it is narrow. Because I do have some other bells that won't fit in it, but I just put those in one container. It's all my giant bells. They're really big jingle bells. And I did put gold and silver together, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal. I think it's pretty obvious which ones are gold and silver. I hope so. I hope I don't get in a rush and put the wrong one on there, because you know people will really don't tell you about it if you do something even simple like that. So these are from the Dollar Tree. And they're good little containers too. They're stackable. So I moved some of the stuff out of this drawer, the second drawer. the music notes, the little antlers, and these little odd end things like this. Because that drawer was getting really over full and I couldn't see anything. So I just left the really big stuff in there, like the softballs and stuff. And the book. Just stuff like that. I can see what's in there now. Yes, I bet Home Depot has all kinds of stuff like that. They probably have a better selection, actually. We have a small Harbor Freights in town, and my husband told me they had that on sale, and I just looked around, and that's when I found those, so I lucked out. And if I ever upgrade to something else, we can always move that in the garage and use it. But $50 for that was not bad at all. It was real easy to put together. And it's a real heavy duty plastic. It's like I've already broke it though. There's a little section broke there. It's kind of, I mean, it's heavy duty, but this, you know, this part can easily get broken. I can't remember what the weight was on it, the max weight, but it was pretty high. That's all the new stuff I can think of. New changes. I don't think I've done anything else. Oh, have you guys seen? It looks like leather from the Dollar Tree. So there's a white one too, but it's got that. It's faux leather. It's what they're calling it. It just has that design. Like my husband was like, I thought you could cut like footballs or something out. I'd have to get like a heavier duty blade, I'm sure, to do that, but that'll be something I'll play around with. And I got some rainbow vinyl. So they have this in black, white, and brown. And that's all I see. I'm constantly moving stuff around. Every time I get something new, I have to move stuff around. So do anybody have any questions or anything about hair bows or homecoming mums or anything like that? Okay, got all these finished. That's what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking I probably have to get a bigger blade, like the heavier duty blade. So it's pretty thick material. I don't know how thick that cuts. I would think it would kind of dull your blade too. I like the little storage thing. I know that they had it on some of the others too, but I like the little storage thing. He also got me all these little tools, the little weeders, the tweezers. And when he got me these pens, it's also for weeding. It's not a real pen. It's a weeding tool. So I got all those little fun tools. And those pens, he got those pens off Amazon, and they come with little extra pieces to put in there. So if you dull it up. I got more. He got me several of those pens. Here's one. I got them in different colors. I'm excited to use that. It's a real fine point. We watch a lot of Angie Holden's videos. She does a lot of sublimation, and then Cricut always sends her like a new Cricut, you know, to show, and she uses those pens a lot. But I watched her video. She had a setup video, and I watched her, so I knew how to do it. I know I want to do, you know, embossing and all that. I want to play around with all that. I think I am. Oh, thanks, Monica. And I said it earlier, but I'll say it again, that I have a video tonight premiering at 8:15. It's an Easter one. And then I'm still working on the 4 loop chain tutorials. It's got 4 loop chains on it. It's like a 20-minute video, so I still have a lot of voiceovers to do on that one. But that'll be my next video that I upload. And it's, like I said, it's 4 different loop chains. One of them is new that you haven't seen before. The other 3 loop chains, I've done individual videos on them, but I wanted to do several on one video. Thanks, T. I don't know if I answered you, TJ. I just saw that. Yeah, that wasn't a bad price for any of that. For that or the little containers. And then those Dollar Tree containers, I love those. I got a few more of these last week. I love these too. They hold small ribbons really, really well. You're welcome, Robin. If there's anything else, let me know. Don't forget to like the video, please. That does help me to show up more in searches, and leaving comments. That helps too, please. I appreciate that so much when you guys do that. Oh, good. I'm glad, Robin. I hope so. You know, I usually do just individual videos, but I'm going to try to do more where it has more options on, you know, like more than one thing on it. And I still have a ton of videos that I did last season that I still have to edit and voice over. So there's still, you know, I still got months of that. And then I'll start doing some new stuff too. So I'm just trying to do old stuff and new stuff. Because I did video quite a bit of stuff last season, but I was so busy I couldn't really get it edited or anything. So I knew that once it slowed down, I would have time to start editing that stuff. And I'm trying to go back and do the oldest stuff first. Oh, thanks, Kay. Yeah, I'll be on there live chatting at 8:15, so if you guys want to chat, look at that video. It's only like a 12 or 13 minute video. It's not a very long video. Wait for any delays. Yes. Alright, well, I'm going to say goodbye then. If anybody else wants to chat for a minute, go ahead. I'm going to go back and try to thank everybody that chatted. Robin, thank you so much. Connie, I know you're doing stuff, but you're on here too, listening. TJ, as always, thank you. Miss Kay, always thank you so much. You're always there. Monica, thank you for chatting. Bye, TJ. Bye, Robin. Bye, Kay. Bye, Connie. Bye, Monica. Y'all have a good afternoon, and I hope that you'll join in and chat this evening for that video. Thanks for joining in, and thanks for liking the video. I appreciate y'all so much. I figured, but you're having a good time, though, probably with your fingers all covered in dirt. I gotta clean up my flower bed soon before it gets hot. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. Have a good afternoon and happy crafting, and as always, be kind to others. Bye. I have to come around. I always forget. I have to come around and shut it off when I do the phone. I'm so used to doing it on my computer. Bye, everybody.